It's Sunday morning on the M32. Originally known as the Parkway, it is at this time of day, for anyone approaching Junction 2, a park. Every week, Amie and Paul and Megan and Tyler get into the company Audi to drive the mile down to the M32 and sit in traffic for an average of 40 minutes with the aim of getting into IKEA. Every week, Amie remarks on how many cars there are, and don't these people have anything better to do? Amie has begun to recognise certain faces as a theme. The M32 has become an extension to her house. People come around to meet her, her husband and children every Sunday. She knows Paul fantasises about there being a catastrophic crash up ahead. Instead of crawling along, burning clutches and pulling underused left thigh muscles, everyone has to stop. He ends up having a kickabout on the carriageway with the guy in the Audi spec'd in the same trim and colour combination as his. This man is always 2 cars ahead of them, and by coincidence, in her husband's fantasy, they share the same birth date. That's how they hit it off. Amie knows all of this because Paul has shared an advert for a building society depicting exactly this on his Facebook page at least twice in the last 12 months. The advert was filmed here on the M32. It features one man getting out of his faceless company car, a debadged Audi in the same colour combination and spec as her husband's, and hitting it off with another dad whose family seem to have forgotten his birthday. There's a football perpetually in the boot that definitely isn't for the kids. Was 2016 a leap year? I'm not sure. Why? Amie is looking, as she always does, at the decorative roof of the mosque next to the carriageway. It is a blue dome, gilded at the top. She's always wanted to go inside. She could imagine she is 22 and travelling. 2016 was a leap year, Tyler pipes up. The 40 minutes roll on and Amie, Paul and the children find themselves not so neatly parked underneath the aircraft carrier-sized IKEA Bristol. Things gathered and children either stowed in trolley or held in hand, the family Adams make their way up a conveyor belt onto the shopping level. On the way up, the walls are decorated with giant canvases depicting New York, London or Paris skylines. Joining the architecture are images of black taxis or baskets of bread, or prominently, that image of those 11 men eating lunch atop a skyscraper. Amie has come to this inherently stressful space for a specific reason. Though she has no aesthetic or practical use for a glass-top table, her husband has recently become quite desperate for one. It is all the way around and to the end of the great pathway, taking in the 7 wonders of the living room, the bedroom, the children's room, the home office, kitchen, the bathroom, and the mysterious storage solutions section. Somehow neither Amie nor Paul have discovered the shortcut that can take you directly to buy and go. There are 437 people for the family to navigate. All are browsing or making beelines or wondering loudly to themselves about taps, or recreating scenes from 500 Days of Summer, or holding down the perfectly understandable desire to thrust one's arm out perpendicular to one's body and in a sweeping motion clear all of the very carefully placed glass vases from the shelf to the floor and watch in total awe as they disintegrate into thousands of brilliant shards of rainbow noise. Both Amie and her husband are determined to get through this storm of stuff. But look at this picture frame, says Amie. It's so cheap, and I really like how they've done the corners. We should take more pictures of the kids. You know we don't take enough pictures of the kids. We could send them as gifts, or better, we could send our old frames and keep these ones. Amie is not doing well. She knows this. She's already been ogled at by 3 men, had her bottom pinched by a 4th, and after asking directions to the glass-top tables, been ignored. The answer was directed at her husband, who was stood just a little too far away for a genuine mistake to be a viable excuse. Paul's attention is also wandering. He's fallen into the trap of visualising the table within their home. He's gazing at kitchen units and spearing headlong into a serious distraction incident involving cutlery and placement sets. Amie may have to go alone, maybe take Megan, leave Tyler with Paul. Wait, where is Tyler? It's okay, he's looking at those pillows with compasses on them. Why would anyone want... Amie realises she is falling under the IKEA spell. She checks herself and centres. Paul is thumbing through a pile of placemats. They are arranged into rainbow order. Amie knows this will irritate her husband, but he seems distant. It strikes her. He's imagining the table, where it will be, what it will be for. how it will live its double life. She knows that Paul is lost and that it's now down to her to pull them all out of this. Okay, we've come for one thing. Perhaps we should have had a game plan. Maybe you should have just come by yourself. Amie, this is about our... He mouths the word, home. Amie pauses, looks at her husband. He's wearing a shirt with a simplified William Morris print she picked out for him this morning. His jeans were bought by her. She remembers the fitting experience they went through to buy his shoes. Amie looks out, past her husband, to the world around him. Of all of these people, how did I get here? Darling, Amie lowers her voice, you just want the table. Paul lowers his voice to match. I would like these placemats for the toy table. You know what I mean. He looks into her eyes. He leans in. We need this. Amie holds the gaze of her husband. How many? 4 should do it, he pauses. Actually, it's 12 for £10. Better make it 12, in case we have guests. Amie's voice rises to a supernormal level. Let's count them, shall we, Megan? Now, Tyler, put them in one at a time into the trolley. Megan, are you ready? Megan feels like she's being told off, but is nevertheless on board. 1, 2, 3. Megan sighs loudly, then shouting with eyes closed, Mummy, I'm shat. Amie has experienced this before, but the sudden eyeballs-on feeling of strangers judging your child's vocab has not lost its heat. Voice in presentation mode, Amie corrects her child. Megan lovely, it's shattered or tired. But just keep counting, Munchkin. 4, 5. Why does the table have to be made of glass? Just the top, Munchkin. Just the top has to be made of glass. 7. No, Munchkin. It's 6 before 7. Munchkin, can we just count a bit quicker? 6, 7, 8, 9. Instead of the counting and stacking together, Tyler is now having to move as quick as his 12-year-old arms are able. Tyler likes a challenge and takes any kind of competition seriously. 7, 8 and 9 went in the basket smoothly, but he spotted that at the end of this particular stack is nigh, and he will need to move to the adjacent one for the 10th, 11th and 12th. As he moves through 180 degrees required, Tyler catches in the corner of his eye a larger figure going for the second pile. Tyler is short for his age, he hates it when adults, other children, use their size to get something over him, and he's not going to stand for it here. In one fluid motion, he turns clockwise from basket to shelf, moves his right arm up and back to block the intercept, while moving his left arm in the direction of the next stack. He makes contact with the last placemat while his right arm encounters something that feels like skin, bone, and something cold, spindly. Tyler feels the all-too-familiar yank from behind. As he's moved clear of the shelf, he sees that his right arm has done its job too well. An elderly woman is holding her face in shock and making a low moaning noise. He becomes aware that the area around him has gone quiet. Very quiet. His mum has him by the hand and they are walking away fast. Tyler looks back, watching the scene recede. Shelves of yellow, orange and lime green lampshades, stacks of plain white chairs, bed frames, nightstand sets, scenes of utopic office harmony and still life living rooms rush past him as his mum leads him the remaining distance around the great path with people brushed away and one minor spill of plastic cups that they don't see hit the ground. Tyler is having to run to keep up.